right now on you. Juke to the left, they dodging it. Can't play the role, you fraudulent. Waiting on the right for the stars in it. 4x4 double parking it. Wanna play like cars in it. Wear the white flag, they forfeit it. Now I got a ring too gorgeous. Damn, I gotta treat it like forges. It sound like I wanna scratch it. Try to take the ring, I'ma tackle you. I guess I'm a Super Bowl bachelor. Go hard in the gym, no cameras. I think I see blood, no Dracula. I'm an animal, eating up amateurs. Too active, y'all can't handle it. No taxing, we'll dismantle it. Shake up the building and ramble it. Whip it, shut up the critics and analysts. Come through dripping, I'ma set it off. Game after game, you can bet it off. Quarterback got range if you broke them off.
Two West Coast teams in the Eastern Hemisphere. It's the coach. This is week 6 of the NFL on EA Sports. The Seahawks had to travel 4,781 miles for their road game, but the Raiders flew 5,345 miles for their home game. It's Seattle and Oakland from London, England. I'll be back with you at halftime, but first, it's off to London as we say good day to our announcers, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, thank you. We are about 4,300 miles away from you there in Orlando as we come to you from the European home of the NFL, London, England. Coming up, another edition of the NFL International Series, and it should be a good one, between the Seattle Seahawks and the Oakland Raiders. Hi again, everyone. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at the Raiders here entering play. They're off to a terrific start, unbeaten at 5-0 through the first month and change.
And you can hang a lot of this early success on their defense, too. They're the
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. So here comes the Raiders offense now onto the field. They're led out by a man who started more Super Bowls than anyone in NFL history, the great Tom Brady.
I can't help but admire the career Tom Brady has had. The numbers are off the charts. The Super Bowl championships and rings, we know that they are incredible. But how about the durability? Had one season that he missed, most of that season because of a knee injury. The rest of the time, he answers the bell and wills his team to victory more times than not. And it felt like in watching the game tape, he got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it because they ran the ball some, they threw it accurately. One touchdown pass, so he didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves a quarterback like that. Doesn't put them in bad situations. A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And, right away, he lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete.
Coverage was excellent downfield. I think he was more throwing that football away than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely, because everywhere he looked, they were covered.
Sometimes it's better to go ahead and be convinced that there's no place to fit in the football than to go ahead and force it and turn it into a bad play.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line.
All right, partner, I'm going to be Captain Obvious right here. Not the start you're looking for offensively, right? Incomplete pass followed by a sack.
And when he went down, it looked like that right ankle got turned, but thankfully he popped up okay, and they breathed a sigh of relief on that sideline. And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. He'll drop to throw. Throwing right, and that's complete. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. They needed 17, and they got 18. A defensive lapse there, and it's a first down. After getting that turnover on the first drive of the game, you'd hate to just stall out the momentum, go 3 and out. They're able to avoid that there.
Yeah, we talk about complementary football all the time, but I think it's a little bit deeper than that. Defense went out, forced a turnover, gave the ball to the offense. It's now the offense's responsibility to pay that off for them, to show respect to them. Hey, you guys got us a turnover. We appreciate it. They want to continue their drive.
And this is incomplete. Casey Hayward, the Pro Bowler, there to knock it away.
Now, that's a great play defensively, and one thing we do know, both of the corners are going to face a lot of action in this game. The way that offense likes to fling it around.
The safeties, they better be ready to be engaged as well. They run with Morris, and able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
He'll look to throw, and this is going to be incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. And his kick here is good. And the Seahawks grab a 3-0 lead. So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the 3.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because it didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over. Next, the receivers have spread the defense out, and they were able to come through with a slashing run.
But to that point, it's going to be interesting to see the personnel chess match as this one progresses.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Can they continue to create running lanes out of passing sets? And if so, it's going to be a long day for the defense. A nickel look by Seattle on 3rd down.
Yep, 5 defensive backs now.
Wait 20! Wait 20!
From the gun, it's Brady. And this is caught. It's Jimmy Graham. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now a first carry for their fullback. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Wait 20! Wait 20!
They'll run it now out of the gun. Shoves him aside. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. Give him 12 yards that time and an Oakland first down.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
They'll try and run with their fullback. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Well, he tried to bounce it outside, but that's obviously not his game. He's too much of a straight-line runner.
Yeah, him in the outer third of the field, not a recipe for success. That time a loss. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7. This is how the defense will line up for Seattle. They come into this one way down at number 23 against the run of the NFL.
One thing you know they'll be fired up because they're facing a top 5 rushing attack. And even if they have early success against them, they got to remember they got to sustain it because teams that are top 5, they don't stop running the ball if they don't get things done early.
Throwing is Brady on 3rd down. And he fires one, but incomplete.
He had a good game catching the ball in the backfield a week ago, and they're going to try and involve him in that way in this game as well. But you can tell scouting is taking over. They're making it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, defensively, they told us, hey, we've got to take him out of the passing game, limit it to just short runs, because he can really impact this offense. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. The best way to do it, touchdowns.
And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
They go play action here on 1st down. Catch made right side by Wilson. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 7 catches, 114 yards.
And he's able to pull that last pass in, but this is usually a pretty tough unit to try and maneuver against. They're in the top 10 in the league against the pass, and you and I both know there's not much difference between 1 and 10.
And the Raiders have got him. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
And the Raiders call on a nickel set for 3rd down. They'll look to throw. And pressure gets to him again.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their 3rd one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
The Seahawks send out their punter as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out, and the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
Going right side here, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. So second in inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 14 yards is the pickup there and a Raider first. Getting the sense, Charles, are going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best. As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
20! 20! Yeah!
Now Brady throwing on second down. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Even the greats in this game, and he certainly qualifies as one of them, they're going to have trouble if they continue to throw into double coverage.
He better be careful. Throwing into too much double coverage might have a couple of them picked off. An incomplete pass on second down. It muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. Shotgun now for Brady. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to make it 4th down.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
Here's the Raiders punter now as he'll kick it away for the second time. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground. But that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. So he's 3 for 7 throwing the football right now. Not an awful start, but also not the sharpest of starts.
No, I would agree with that. But if you're a confident quarterback and to play that position you have to be, you just act like there's something wrong with the wind currents or something wrong with the ball. It is not you. Keep throwing. That timing usually develops.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
On play action, they'll throw. Wilson snags it left side. They'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A gain of 32 that time.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. First down carry for Foster. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play. It'll be second down.
I I would think as a play call, you want to look for some quick hitters to your tight end. Any type of a route to replace where that linebacker was. Because when you saw the speed with which he reacted and stuffed that play, maybe use that speed against him in the future.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Well, it's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker. Because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. The Seahawks on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
Set! Green 39! Green 39!
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Ryan Shazier. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. So possession changes hands on the final play of the first quarter. 3-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this. Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Raiders in possession of the football. They take over 1st and 10 following the interception. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll be tackled right on the midfield logo. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Delay of game, offense.
So that'll back him up 5.
Still 2nd down.
So the delay of game penalty backs him up. It's now 2nd and 7. Working from the gun, it's Brady. And Graham's got it over the middle. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
The Raiders on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4.
20!
Operating from the gun. Brady throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
20!
And they'll run it here. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, how about the big guy there showing some agility? He just flowed from his D-tackle position in order to make that play.
On 2nd down, here's Brady. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Deshaun Jackson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Raiders are able to cash in for 6. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions,
and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Point after here coming up. Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. 5 plays there on that drive, and it ends with an Oakland touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. He's likely still kicking himself from the interception last drive that wound up leading to a go-ahead score.
And he's going to assume all that came with that one, all right? That's all on him, but he also knows he's got to erase it from his mind and get back out there. This drive, very important.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 7 yards to pick up on the pitch and catch.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3.
All right, here we go. Boom, landed.
This is Morris. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. The linebacker Ryan Shazier there to make the tackle. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
On 3rd down, it's Warner, and he will have a first down here at about the 40. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that first. Here's Morris. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
The Seahawks on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6.
Here we go now. Green, 39.
He'll look to throw. And incomplete here on 3rd down.
And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
The Seahawks send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the second time. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Did they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away. Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. Wasn't able to get anything, no gain. Fumbled once already. Maybe he's being a little careful. Not necessarily on that play, but I'm sure that's in his mind somewhere.
Oh, without a doubt, because protecting the football is job one for anyone who's carrying it. And that's exactly what he tried to do on that play, but it didn't gain him any yardage.
And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. Here's the Raiders punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they'll get him down here at the 23. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. The Seahawks send out their punter as he's on to kick it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And they'll go on the ground. And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for an Oakland first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down.
Wait 20! Wait 20! Wait 10!
Now a play fake here on first down. He'll rifle this one, and this will be caught at the 30. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. A big play there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Raiders add on to their lead. So that's the rookie's first trip to the end zone, and I think it's safe to say one he'll always remember.
Oh, without a doubt. That one is going to be imprinted forever. And nowadays, we're seeing rookies make a greater impact at that position at receiver than ever before. I think mainly because of the sheer volume of footballs that they catch in college.
Point after, right down the middle. And that pushes the lead up to 11. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it winds up in 6 points for the Raiders. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Doug Baldwin and company getting ready to go again on offense. Hasn't had his best day to this point here in the second quarter, and they're losing. You got to think, though, that also means that maybe the defense doing a good job on him. There's 2 sides to that coin.
I would agree, so you have to give them credit, but that means you've got to find a way to beat that defense and make sure one of your top playmakers touches the football and has an impact on the game. Change formations, change where he lines up, put him in motion. Anything possible to shake him free.
Maybe that greater impact comes here on this drive. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down.
Partner, it's often that man coverage is easier for a quarterback to run against. You get your receivers going downfield. Those guys are staying with them, and oftentimes they have their back to the quarterback, which opens up a lot of space and room, and they don't even know that he's taken off with it. What a big-time pickup on that play.
Green, 39.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
They decided to take a shot and right down the middle of the field, and really, they didn't give it as much time to develop, did they? They want to take that shot somewhere around the 15-yard mark.
And the defense able to recover, batted free. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now it's Morris. And flags come in as he gets forward for about 3 yards. Now let's check on the call.
Holding offense.
That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block it'd be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
They'll set up to throw. And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
Now back to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27. It's a big play on third down for the Seahawks. 48 yards. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back with more after this. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10.
Let's go! Green, 39! Green, 30!
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete. The intended target, Doug Baldwin. And now it's 2nd down. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
But that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Well, he's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down. So there you go. Like you predicted, they do get him involved, and he's got his first catch and a 1st down.
And what you need to do there is just put a check mark next to the circle with his name, with his number in it. Don't put the line through it. It's not done yet. That should be the first of many.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Here we go now. 3-19.
They'll drop to throw. This will be caught at about the 5. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. And on 3rd and inches, we're going to get a whistle and a timeout, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. The offense on 3rd down tonight, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And not only will he not get the few inches he needs, he's going to go backwards. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. And his kick is good. And a second field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
So the lead trimmed down to 8 as here comes the kickoff, and it's away. Williams to return. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Here comes Tom Brady and the Patriot offense back onto the field. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
That throw by Brady, incomplete. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
Well, we've seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half, unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is, because he catches it well, creates a mismatch. You're going to cover him with a linebacker, a corner, a safety. They feel like he can win every battle.
He's going to fire one deep over the middle. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Yeah, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
And now the Seahawks are going to call another timeout as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. The Seahawks send out their punter. He's been terrific so far. Now it's Lockett. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. And time for us to spotlight Doug Baldwin. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us. But sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. So we have reached halftime here in what's an 8-point game. As it's time now to send you back stateside to Orlando, Florida, and check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. Fielded about a yard deep. Spins away. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And out now come the Seahawks. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
And the Seahawks on third down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This will be 3rd and 6. Back to throw here. And Wilson has it. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. It used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But I believe a Seahawk was able to get a handle on this, so this will remain Seattle ball.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Give him 2 on the run. They need a lot more than that coming up here on 3rd down.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
Here we go now. Green, 39. Green.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively. But instead, it just brings up 4th down. They have not gotten him going at all. Tried to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
This will be fielded at the 17. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Jackson's got it over the middle. And they'll get him down here at the 23. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. A give to the fullback on the dive. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. The Raiders on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. From the gun, it's Brady. And left side here, it's Graham. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
They'll start on the ground with Foster. And oh, he coughs up the football near his own goal line. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
All I can say about this play is that someone's living right. I mean, he's trying to gain yardage, trying to get upfield. Ball comes free. What's that panic that we've talked about oftentimes that you feel when you lose the ball?
You can sense it.
Oh, you can sense it. And somehow he got to it and was able to recover it for his squad.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Back to throw now in his own end zone. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down.
Hurry up, here we go.
On 3rd down, it's Morris. And he's able to get this one up to the 8-yard line this time. It'll be a gain of 7, but I'd imagine we'll see the punt team here on 4th down.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball
He's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
The Seahawks send out their punter as he's on for the 5th time here today. Just a 2-yard return there following a punt of 48. And out will come the offense as they take over. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. So after that hot start, the numbers here show the decline. What has the defense done adjustment-wise?
Sometimes when you have a running back who's gotten off to a hot start, you've got to catch him before he really gets going. So you change what you do across the defensive front. Instead of the linebackers being back a few yards, you bring them up closer. It's what we call mugging the line of scrimmage, taking away a lot of blocking angles and gaps, and maybe stopping him before he can get going.
Mugging the line of scrimmage, okay.
Yeah, in this case.
A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
And that's a nice gain by him on 1st down, picking up some key yardage.
Brady to throw on 2nd down. Bringing it in, Jackson left side. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49.
They completed the screen on the perimeter, but boy, that was textbook defense. Exactly as you're taught to play against a wide receiver screen, and they snuffed it out for a loss of yardage.
The Raiders on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 4.
Like 20! 20!
Shotgun now for Brady. And he's got his man on the out route. 83 yards receiving now for him on the afternoon as he's got a 1st down here.
All that practice time came to fruition on that play. All those timing routes that they work on through training camp, OTAs, minicamp, and just regular season, they got it done on that one. An outcut, ball was delivered, and picked up the completion.
Brady, 12 of 16 thus far. It's 1st and 10. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. So nothing there, but maybe you blame that on the blocking.
Yeah, at some point, you've got to win at the point of attack. And on that play, that was all the defense. They made it happen.
Now Brady throwing on 2nd down. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And he's going to get this inside the 30. That'll put him at 96 yards receiving now for the game, and he's got a 1st down as well. And on the ground they go with the running back. And he'll be brought down at about the 25 after a pickup of 4. To throw on 2nd down. Brady. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Now that was well defended, and as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
The Raiders on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 7. They fake the handoff. Now Brady. And that is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. As his guys are in for 6. And the Raiders add 6 to their lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Second half, no matter what, whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever, this was a big score to start the second half.
Extra point right down the middle, and the lead is up to 15 now. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Set. Green 30.
Looking to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 24. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score. Short throw, pick 6 right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. Extra point splits the uprights. And the lead opens up now to 22 points. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And they gave up the pick 6, and now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now, as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go-around?
You should be, just because after what you gave up, but you can't be so cautious as to just really take things in, and now you're not going to play loose enough to give your team a chance to score. But you still have to be careful, because those defensive guys, I know the reputation defense guys can't catch. All evidence to the contrary on that last possession, though.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down.
Now let's go.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And his throw is incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Back to throw. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. The Seahawks send out their punter. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. taken at about the 16. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Tom Brady leads the offense out for their next possession. He has been consistent, hasn't he? He played well in the first quarter, good second quarter, and now continuing that here in the third.
And that's the word that they're always seeking from the guy taking the snaps, is consistency. Taking care of the ball, making sure it gets to the right people, no errors, right? Not turning it over, and just doing all the right things. That's leadership, and it inspires confidence in a team.
Yeah, been a good leadership and a good distributor. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
20.
Looking to throw on second down. Brady. And that's caught inside the 35. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
I've got to make sure that I don't take Tom Brady's greatness for granted, that we make it routine. How about that throw right there? Yeah. Another great completion.
And you know one area where he honed his throwing, he was a catcher in high school. He was actually drafted by the Expos in 1995 in the 18th round.
Well, that would have been something to see him behind the dish.
Think he's gunned down a few guys?
Gunned down a few guys trying to steal second. That would have been fun to watch.
20. 20.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back now here in London. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
20.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
They'll go right back to the ground with Falk. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Only a yard in the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
20.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will cross the 30 down to the 29-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down. On now is the field goal team. Here's the Raiders. We'll try for 3. This one from 46 yards out. And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost, and that will extend their lead even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know, in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points
big time.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Foul. Face mask. Defense.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face
Automatic
mask.
first down.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they march off another 15 against your squad.
Excellent field position after the face mask penalty. First and 10 out near
Green,
midfield.
39. Green, 39.
He'll drop to throw. And nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away. But it does get away and it's second down. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter and find their way open. Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
And that is incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on third down.
They're already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on fourth down.
Set. Green, 39. Green, 39.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And it is incomplete. Pete Carroll rolled the dice, but it didn't work out. And the Raiders with the football now in excellent field position. Being just short of midfield, they decide to take a crack at it on fourth down. They don't come through.
Sometimes it's just showing confidence in your defense. You know that they're good, and they'll take care of you. A lot of coaches during the week will announce to their team, we're going to be aggressive, guys. We're going to go for it. Hey, defense, you got me? A little bit of a challenge to them to see if they'll pick up the rest of the team.
We'll see how they respond now. So out come the Raiders. Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs, the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, giving him a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be second and 6.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
White 20. White 20. White 20.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
So from the 36 now, first and 10. On the give, this is their fullback. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. The Pro Bowler, Muhammad Wilkerson, brings him down.
A good solid game there on first down, but the defense has to be happy they didn't let it pop for anything bigger.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
Football's such a game of tendencies, down and distance, and on 3rd and inches, 3rd and 1, you're thinking, yeah, the fullback's probably going to get the ball, but when you get to 3rd and 2, most of the time that's either the running back or a pass play. So that's a nice tendency breaker by the offensive team there. Hand it to their big guy to pick up a first down.
And now a carry here for the fullback. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That's someone who's pretty happy right there. That's the defensive coordinator. Body after body getting to him before he can get started.
They'll run it here. This is their fullback getting the carry. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. Back-to-back 1-yard runs here, so that leaves them with a 3rd down and 8. The Raiders on 3rd down. They've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. This is 3rd and 8. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll bring up a 4th down. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. This one from 35 yards away. And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford it.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Ryan Shazier. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. This spot in the 4th quarter with that deficit, had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
The Raiders offense now making their way back out onto the field. Well, this ball game certainly has gotten a little out of hand. This is normally when they say you got to fill. This is fill time for guys like you and I. But, yeah, to be frank, just a dominating performance. Really impressive what we've seen.
It is, and I'm glad that you went in that direction because otherwise we're going to talk about the museum tour we took yesterday.
Which was also impressive.
Which was also very impressive. But this game, how they've done it, offense, defense, special teams, they put it all together. And I got to tell you, I am beyond impressed by what I've seen from this team.
White 20! White 20!
And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he loses the football a 2nd time. And the Seahawks have recovered. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And that interception that ended their previous drive likely also ended any shot they had at victory.
Yeah, long road back from here, no doubt about that one. But let's face it, if you're going to go out there and compete, you want to try and end on a strong note, don't you?
Absolutely. It won't end in a victory like you said, but they can maybe take something positive out of this one. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
It's a lot of contact going on there. And in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. Well, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
They'll set up a throw. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A good pickup there at 22.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route is extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play at any spot on the field.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. He'll look to throw. It's caught. Block it. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A very solid gain of 27. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 36.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90.
He'll look to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I'm not even sure I know who this guy is out there playing right now. This is very unlike him, one of the most accurate guys in the league. Totally off his game right now.
I don't know. I was going to ask you what you pin it on, but defensively, they've been pretty solid.
Well, sometimes, you know, those defenders, they get into the receivers pretty well, and if they chip away at their timing, it's going to affect what you're doing throwing the ball as well.
A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll set up to throw. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. From the 21, it's 2nd and 10.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Shedding the tackle. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and it'll be 3rd down. Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. 8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on 3rd down.
Now let's go. Green.
Now back to throw. And almost intercepted. Would have been a huge pick in the end zone, but as it stands, that brings up 4th.
Trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, you know, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown in. Frankly, that should have been another pick right there. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And now here come the Raiders. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner. And just think about how good that feels, because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right, and sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's familiar. You feel right going into the game, and they translated that into a win.
They did indeed. They protected the home field, and now the final stages.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for an Oakland first down.
I've got an idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to be given a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say the offensive line, yes, carrying the ball has been key, but those guys up front, they've made a lot of space. Now a give left side to Falk. He'll be stopped shy of the 45 despite a great move. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Well, as always, partner, an extreme pleasure to share a booth with you. I have to say, I am impressed at your discipline, because you came here and you said you were not going to eat any of the media buffet. You made it to the end. You didn't consume a single calorie.
I appreciate that. What you missed is me going to the concession stand outside of your eyesight and getting it done that way. Look, I mean, they were serving the good stuff. I had to do it.
Oh, man, but you're svelte, in good shape, but yeah, you cheated a little bit. We'll let it slide.
I appreciate that. Always a pleasure to work with you.
So for the Raiders, they remain as hot as anyone, 6-0 now through the first month and a half. And now it's off to Heathrow as they get set to fly back to the U.S. in a couple hours. Meanwhile, for Seattle, they can't quite seem to turn things around as they fall into 2-4 now on the year. And now they'll head to the bye week as they'll be back in action in Week 8. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.